Nick Pope solid in goal. Kieran Trippier phenomenal. Sandro Tonali bossing the midfield yet again. Malik Chow flawless. Big Dan Burn a colossus. And Joe Linton a beast second half. Yes, last night on match day 4 of the Champions League phase at St James's Park, Newcastle United made it 3 consecutive wins and 3 consecutive clean sheets as they beat Athletic Club 2-0 with goals from Big Dan Burn and Joe Linton. That moves us up to 6th place, which is one of the automatic spots for the last 16 in the league table. And it's looking good at the moment. We're only ahead on goal difference, but at the halfway stage, we're ahead of the likes of Liverpool and Real Madrid on 9 points. It's brilliant. Obviously, we've still got Marseille, Leverkusen and PSG to come away, and then we're penultimate game at home against PSV. But yeah, fantastic. Yes, we weren't brilliant last night, but it was just about getting the job done. But before I begin this video, I've got to praise the magnificent fans that are the Athleticzales. They were brilliant. They've been so respectful, kind, humble, loved our hospitality, such good camaraderie around the city. And before we went to our normal match day bar European night, we went to the Hotspur for a couple to begin with. That's where this photo that I'm going to put on screen now is from. And honestly, they were brilliant. They were in the corner. They came over, chatted to her, and they were just such nice fans to talk to. And yeah, like I said, we saw them in the Hotspur first. And our match day bar is the Lost Wanderer on Leazes Park Road because it's great for European atmosphere. Feels more like a European bar with the drinks that they have on draft, like Flensburger and Superbock. And they always march the fans past the pub before they take them to St James's Park. It's just how this friendship's lasted over the last 31 years. Like, I was 7, I'm now 38, I'm pushing 40. And it was brilliant just to hear all these stories. Obviously, when we won the first leg over here and then lost over there, but some of their fans, when they were here, they'd missed the transport back and how they were put up in accommodation, and their fans recognised it. And then most of our supporters didn't pay a penny when they went over to Bilbao to play Athletic Club for the second leg. And their fans invaded the pitch famously, and they ran over at the away end. And you're thinking, is it hostility? And it wasn't. It was just to applaud how good we were that night as away fans. And last night was just the same. We went to Filthies. We were going to go to Stack, but we realised that their fans are so good. We wanted to mingle in with them because they're so friendly. They're so courteous. They talked about our hospitality, how they've been made to feel so welcome in the city. And honestly, it was just fantastic. We realised we're going to go Stack, but then we're like, no, it's a home-only bar. Someone suggested the Mayfair. We're like, that's for some reason the old Sam Jack's home-only as well. So we went to Filthies, but we chatted to so many of their fans in. They joined in with chance. We got talking to them. They've invited me over to Bilbao sometime. There was no hostility. There's no animosity. It's just camaraderie. They're just enjoying our songs. We're trying to sing along with theirs, trying to speak Basque. And just like warmth and respect for each other. That's how it should be. And this is what came out of last night as well. I've got a few Toon scarves. This one I've maybe had 5 or 6 years. I probably paid about 5 or 6 quid for it. But they went, really enjoyed talking to you and love you to all come over. But he's like, as a memory here and your hospitality to remind us in case I never get over here again. He's like, I don't know what will happen. I want something to remind us of here. Do you mind swapping scarves? And normally I'd be like, red and white. But look at that. Yes, I've actually brought a red and white scarf home because their supporters were so canny. And I said, of course I will. It wouldn't have been my cup final scarf. I would have respectfully said no if I took that one out, but I keep that one especially just for the Carabao Cup games, the one that we had on with seats at Wembley. But yeah, I brought that home and I didn't mind because honestly, what a fan base. And obviously get their colours from when I think one of their club officials was in England, in Hampshire. And I think the Mackhams were part of it as well, but the Mackhams, Portsmouth or Southampton, they founded Bilbao and then they took Southampton's red and white stripes, and we were saying to them all night, they're the only red and white stripes we like here. But yeah, I just wanted to say, fantastic fan base, a credit to their club, and they've been so fantastic in our city, so they're welcome back anytime and would love to go out to Bilbao. That's the only downside, we don't get to play them away with this new format. But getting on to the game, because I had to give credit to them. But yes, the game itself, we won 2-0. And this league phase really does seem to be suiting us, doesn't it? And it's in stark contrast to our actual Premier League form, because we all know Brentford coming up this weekend. If you follow my socials, I do the final word after each game, just giving my summary of the game. And I've said, last night is all well and good, But if we can't follow it up and get our first Premier League away win on Sunday, it'll mean nothing. But anyhow, he stuck with 9 of the 11 who'd lost so dismally at West Ham. And I know how bad that was being in that away end, an awful away end. But he only made 2 changes. He brought in Harvey Barnes on the right wing for Jacob Murphy. And then thankfully, at right back, he brought in Kieran Trippier for Emil Kraft, who just didn't have a good game down at the London Stadium. And you know what? I've got to say, Kieran Trippier was my man of the match. Just his intelligence with the ball under pressure, like the headers back to Nick Pope to take the pressure off the defence. He was fantastic defensively, winning his tackles, his headers, always looking to get one the front foot with his intelligent passing. And then he was always a threat with his deliveries, as it proved for the goal. But yeah, going through the team, as I said at the start of this video, Malik Chow, flawless again at the back. Just dominant in the air. I don't think he lost the tackle at the back. And his recovery pace, I talk about it so much, but the fact he can get back and just sweep up when they've maybe got a counter on, it's fantastic. He was just flawless, and congratulations to him as well. He's just been called up for the first time to the Germany squad along with Nick Voltemada, so that's fully deserved for a stellar start to his Newcastle career. Sandro Tonali. Tonali was brilliant. All I'm saying is I'm surprised he got man of the match by UEFA when I felt it should have went to Kieran Trippier. But you know what, Tonali, again, you just come to expect it. He just bossed that midfield. He just looks like he's, what's the word? He's like flying through games. He's got a strut about him. He knows how good he is. He deserves to be at that level. And he just kept things ticking over again. He'd break things up along with Chow with his pace when if they were on transition against her. But then again, he knows where his passes are going to go. He's so ahead of everyone else in terms of his intelligence. He just doesn't give the ball away. Big Dan Burn, I'll come on to his brilliant header, but he was dominant at the back, wasn't he? And we were like a land of giants. Anytime that ball went up to that left wing, whether it was Chow switching it, or Trippier, or Bruno, or Tonali, when it came to Big Dan Burn, he was up there. Like he said after the game, obviously it's heavy on the legs, but as long as he's playing, he loves it, and he recognises that Botman and Chow were probably were future, but now Lewis Hall came on with a fantastic cameo. But Dan Burn was fantastic on that left side, and then when he was, like I said, when the balls were coming over to him, he was just winning every header, whether it was at a set piece or defensively, he was brilliant. And yeah, like I said, you go to Joe Linton. I felt Joe Linton started the game okay, maybe first 5-10 minutes, but then he went off the boil, giving some passes away. But then second half, Bruno said in his post-match interview that they talked about need to come out and be aggressive and go at them. Because Dan Burn talked about pre-match, didn't he, about being ugly, just go back to basics, how we were a team a couple of years ago full of shithousery. Well, Bruno said they had the chat at half-time, they need to come out quickly, and Joel Linton obviously got the goal. I felt he went in beast mode, he was getting stuck in everything, winning challenges, and he putting himself about. And yeah, I felt I was a bit harsh maybe after the West Ham game when I done my review on Monday, because we did feel like were his legs gone, because he looked a bit unlike himself, and he was just completely on the periphery like so many others. But again, Eddie Howe said that there's been an illness sweeping through the camp, and that's why I'll give Bruno a pass. Bruno gave us some passes away, and he didn't really get involved in the game. But again, you caveat that where he was ill, and he didn't train Tuesday, and he said he felt like he was carrying 10 kilos on his back, so you can forgive that. Gordon, off the boil again. He was making lots of runs, had lots of energy, but he was running into blind alleys or running into players, and then he was just losing the ball. But it seems that he did have a hip injury, so that was affecting his movement somewhat. I hope he makes a quick recovery. The only plus point I could say out of it is that the time out of the team might give him a chance to reset and go again, because there is a quality player in there, and we want to see it more. And then you go to Nick Voltemada. Voltemada didn't really get in the box. He had that one chance where the ball was put in. I think it was by Harvey Barnes. And he completely mistimed his header and headed it wide when he should have put it in. There was a chance at the end, obviously, where it came in from Murphy. And I think him and Anthony Elanga got mixed up. One of them should have called for it, and Elanga put it over. And then you go on to the right side. Harvey Barnes, I felt Harvey Barnes was ineffective on the right, But when Gordon went off and Murphy came on and Barnes went to the left, he was more purposeful. He was keeping the ball better. He was challenging his man, won a couple of corners, and obviously got the key assist for that all-important second goal for Joe Linton. And then you go to the subs as well. I felt Miley was dangerous on the ball. He kept things just ticking over when we were 2-0 up. Ramsey didn't really have time to make much of an impact. The game was done by then. Lewis Hall just showing his quality, came on when Burn went off. I hope Burn's okay, obviously. But Lewis Hall was he's fantastic. England's future, our future. When he came on, just his intelligence, like I think his first touch was a header over one of their players' heads when he was like reading like how to keep possession, like, and when he was under pressure, if he passed it, he could have lost it. And he just done a little cushioned header over one of their players to retain possession, and then under pressure, he dribbled like Tino does. He managed to wriggle away, whether that was cutting inside and then switching play to keep her in possession, keep her flowing up the pitch, or whether it was just a little simple pass and then his runs. Honestly, Lewis Hall's building his fitness up, so don't expect him to be in the team for Brentford. Depends on Burn, obviously, but it's great to see him back as well. And Alanga, ineffective a little bit again, but he won a couple of corners. He used his pace a little bit, and again, he scuffed that chance. I think he's desperate just for a goal or assist. That's why he put it over at the end. And Nick Pope, he made up for how poor he was for Paquetá's shot at the near post on Sunday, and he had a solid game. He was commanding in his area. He didn't get a touch, I've realised, to Gomez's shot early on when it hit the post. He could do nothing against the left-back Boyro's shot, which cannoned off the post. Look, I felt Pope done well. He got down for Serrano, who came on for Navarro. His shot, he went down to the right and saved that when he had to be alert. He's in the middle of his goal. Then he pushed Serrano's other shot round his left-hand post for a corner. But yeah, the game itself, it started pretty scrappily. The ball was in the air a lot. Gomez took advantage of Bilbao in their possession. He put a header wide when he was at the far post. Joe Linton then correctly flagged offside. His goal was ruled out by VAR. And then the all-important breakthrough. Trippier's fantastic delivery from the right. Eddie Howe said they worked on that set piece. Navarro completely lost Dan Burn. He peeled away. I think Chow was the blocker, and then Burn. As it's being coined, bend it like Burn, as Shea Gibbons said in TNT. Just the curl on that. We didn't see it being in the corner. Watching it back after, I've seen all the angles. The way it curled into that corner past Simon. Excellent header. So yeah, I love that. Bend it like Burn. Brilliant. And yeah, just Dan Burn's been excellent this season, especially filling at left back when he's a left centre back. But then I feel we didn't take control of the game. I've got to say, being a Basque club, they're very technical. They were very good in their build-up with their possession. I just felt, although they were good very technically as well, they were let down in the final third by either their final ball or the shots were inaccurate. But they had a lot of territory, and they were doing what we've done to teams before. They were very good in the press and were winning back a lot, and we were a bit untidy in possession. And then you go through the half, obviously Gordon had to get subbed, and you go through the half, and despite Bilbao's territory, we still had chances of our own. I felt that while they were wasteful in the final third, we just edged it, but we weren't spectacular. It was a very close first half, and I felt they did have the chances to go level, but we had chances of our own. As I said, Nick Voltemara miscued his header and put it wide of the post, and then Joe Linton got gifted the ball by Athletic, and he was one-on-one, but Simon made a good save. And I felt the half-time whistle came at the right time. I was grateful for it to go in 1-0 up, and then I just thought, can we get an early goal and kill this game? And I believe they did have a chance at the start of the second half. I can't remember who it was from, but then we got the all-important second goal. Harvey Barnes being switched to his favoured left. He done well. When he shot was blocked, it came back to him. Managed to find a couple of yards of space, shifted it to his left, and then an excellent ball onto the head of Joe Linton. And you know what? That felt like, in a way, it was game over because, like I said, there was a few subs. Obviously, Burn had to come off. Lewis Hall came on. Bruno, he was feeling the effects of his illness, so he came off for Miley. And then we had the other subs as well. We didn't have Asula on the bench. Eddie Howe said that he had to be dropped last minute because they want to rest him, protect him, concerns over his ankle. So they didn't have a striker on the bench. So Alanga went centre forward, and Barnes, who had been doing well, he came off, and I thought he was just building up a head of steam. So yeah, we did end up with a weird front three. It was like, I think it was Murphy and Alanga and then it was Volta in his favour, like deeper position as the number 10. So I can see what Eddie Howe was trying to do. But look, was it a brilliant game overall from us? No. Has it answered all the questions from Sunday? Also no. But did we get the job done? Do I have to play high intensity, sexy football, as Eddie Howe called it once? No. So, look, it was job done, and it puts you in a very healthy position before we play Marseille on match day 5 on the 25th of November after the break, before it's Leverkusen, then it's PSV, and then we'll finish at the European champions in PSG. So, yeah, it's put us in a fantastic position. But like I said, yeah, once Bruno came off and that, we lost a bit control. They had a lot of territory. Like I said, they had a couple of chances, but other than Serrano's long shots, I don't feel we were that troubled. And then the game was seen out comfortably. And yeah, we've got another win, another clean sheet, 3 in a row, 3 clean sheets in a row. And the Champions League is really favouring us, as I said at the start of this video, with this league format. I like it. It's a lot more games, and it's been 3 games a week. And now we've got less than 5 weeks till we're in Cologne for the Leverkusen game. I didn't get a ticket. I expected it with the points threshold, the lowest being 141. But look, that's just the way it is. We're just going there to be in the fan zone. We're going to enjoy it. Me and the lads are all going. There's about 6 or 7, and we're just going there to enjoy German food, German beer. And yeah, I can't wait. It's now, what's Thursday? So it's 33 days away, so it'll be around before we know it. But yeah, that was fantastic last night. Like I'd say not even the match was the best part. It was the post-match, being in the big market with all the Bilbao fans. Like I said, chatted with them, danced with them. They got some of our scarves. Obviously, I got this one off them, the only red and white thing I'll own in my life. Best players last night, Sandro Tonali, Malik Chow. This is overall Dan Burn. Then I'd say Nick Pope. Joe Linton was only good for the second half, but my man of the match by a country mile is the outstanding Kieran Trippier. And Dan Burn and Kieran Trippier, I've got to say Burn, that's 3-headed goals that have all been significant. Kieran Trippier is 25th assist since joining the club. He's only behind Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson for Liverpool in that time. That's how brilliant a signing Kieran Trippier has been. But yeah, very happy. 9 points from 12. It's looking good. Maybe 2 or 3 more points. It was 12 was enough to guarantee every team went through on that amount of points last season. So yeah, if we get one more win from our final 4 games, it looks like we're at least in the playoffs. As it stands though, why haven't we got a shot of getting to the knockouts, being above the likes of Real Madrid and Liverpool, albeit on goal difference? But it's a league form we need to sort out now, because Brentford yes, they're a good team and they've got a good home record, but we now need to start putting with Champions League and Carabao Cup form into the league, and especially we're having no away wins. Because the excuses are running out that we start the season with no striker, and then when we've had Volta, yes, we've lost Hall and Tino, but we need to start getting the wins, because we're going to get cut off from the rest of the league. And if we don't start getting wins in the league, especially away from home, we can't keep relying on our home form. We're not going to be back in the Champions League next season, and we won't get to experience nights like this or that anthem again next season, and that's what we want. So we need to start arresting our away form and fast, because we'll always be good at home, but we need to get this win, especially going into a break for the feel good. We don't want to come out of it with, I was going to say a draw might even be good, but I feel it's a must win being away from home. We'll have to go and win at Brentford. They're just a point above win the table, and if we win that, good, it'll be a feel good factor. There'll be a lot of positivity through the break before we return against Man City on the Saturday at 5:30. But anyway, that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching in a different part of my house. I thought I'd film it in front of my Shearer photos and my Toon clock. But please like, comment, share and subscribe. Take care, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll give my post-match reaction after we played Brentford before the break on Sunday. So for now, take care. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.